Welcome to TSChitChat. Today our topic is a bit more supernatural. We're talking about ghosts, spirits,
living entities.
And by the way, we have to give our prayer to Whitney Houston, because today is actually the passing of Whitney Houston as well. What a coincidence when TSChitChat want to change the topic and then this thing happened.
Coincidence or something supernatural?
Exactly. Okay. Before we start, I'm actually talking to Norbert.
Hi everybody.
Hi Norbert.
Hi.
Do you have a religion background?
I actually Lutheran, but actually not religious.
Okay.
But I believe that someone or something is actually looking after us.
Okay.
So
something as higher being?
Higher being, yes. It's mainly like you have an archangel looking after you.
Okay.
So.
Well, personally, my first experience of hearing something supernatural is when I'm around 16 years old. I'm climbing this mountain called Mount Kinabalu, and it's like one of the highest mountain in the Southeast Asia.
Yes.
So when you have to climb to the half part, it takes you probably around 6 hours, and then for the rest of it, you have to climb, probably start from midnight, 2 o'clock to climb to the upper level. And then halfway through, when I start to lose with all the people who I'm climbing with, I'm just end up all by myself. And then suddenly I hear a voice from upper side. It's for my best friend voice. Basically speak in my own direct language. Say that, you know, I'm just up here, climb higher. And then I thought, oh my god, my friend is there. So I climb higher. And then when I reach there, if you ever climb a mountain, you know that, you know, when you go so high, you won't see tree, you won't see nothing at all. You only see rock.
Yes.
So all I see the next kilometer.
The next level to climb up to.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's nothing there, it's no one there for me. So that's my first experience. So what about you, Norbert?
I think my first experience is that I've always been able to see shadows or movements or ghosts, as we like to call them. In Richmond, when I was, I think, about 13, what was my first experience, was actually we were living in an old house in Richmond on Bridge Road. It was 64 Bridge Road, I still remember the address. I was in a room and I had the experience of an old lady in the room. So it was my sister that actually changed rooms because it was her room. And I ended up with that room. It was a tiny little room, no windows, it had a door and it had a skylight. But I always felt there was a presence there.
Okay.
And I didn't realise, and then as I started looking into it, I realised it was a woman.
Okay.
And she wanted me to leave her house, her room.
Okay.
It was after that I actually experienced and actually saw her a few times, and she was always standing by the stairs. Okay,
when you say you saw her, you actually see an actual person?
Not actual person, but an outline of a person.
Okay.
So, and it was actually like an outline of a female. So, and it was an older person that I could tell. And after investigating it a little bit more, and I was terrified of the stairs.
Okay.
Because the stairs were very steep, because it was an old house. And I actually found out later on that this woman who had actually possessed the house actually fell down the steps and broke her neck.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I actually kept seeing images of somebody tumbling down the stairs.
Oh.
And that was her.
Okay, because I believe that, you know, sometimes they say, you know, when someone passing, and sometimes that incident oh, I got the goosebump already, is keep repeating itself.
Yes.
Let's say someone hang themselves and that picture of they hang themselves will keep repeating.
Yes.
And now you are seeing she keep always falling down and hurt herself.
Hurt herself, yes. She actually broke her neck and died there.
When she talked to you, is she friendly or very angry person?
She was very angry because that was her room that I was occupying, her space.
Okay.
So that was the first thing that I've noticed. But I've had other experiences, and I've realised, thinking about it, when we're organising this chit chat, that my sister also has certain feelings as well.
Okay.
When I was going to university in Bendigo, we were looking for a house to rent because it was close, because we're living about an hour away and commuting all the time is quite difficult. Anyway, we found a house and it looked suitable, and my sister came to have a look at the house as well, and I got the feelings the house was angry.
Okay.
And the house said get out.
Okay.
So I don't know whether it was male or female, but I could feel a presence, and the presence was angry to get out of the house.
Okay.
So after speaking to my sister that evening, going, oh, what do you think about the house? And she's going, I said, there's something about it because the house is telling me to get out. So, and she said she felt exactly the same thing.
Wow.
She wanted to get out of the front door, fear, but actually could hear voices saying, get out of my house.
Okay. Wow. Because I have to say that, you know, sometimes I like to be scientific, you know, but sometimes they say, you know, when you lay on your bed, you know, you can feel something, or, you know, you can feel like, you know, someone on top of you, but you cannot move. But basically just because, you know, your brain cell is keep moving, but your body is so tired it cannot move. But there's few incidents, personally, I feel that is more than just my body actually getting tired.
Yes.
It's actually you feel a presence or something or someone is looking at you.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, my sister had that experience as well, and this was in Castlemaine, where she was looking after an old person basically. And it was actually the wife that actually told her to get out, to leave her husband alone, but she was only a caregiver. And because he was old and frail, she was staying the night because he was having a systemic breathing problems, and her hair went up. It was almost like electricity. She spoke to me about it because we're quite close in certain things, and we feel free that we can actually talk about it. So I sort of think if I've got the inheritance, my sister has as well. So, and the wife was telling her to get out. So, and because she wanted her husband to pass on.
Okay.
So they wanted to be together basically. So yes.
Wow.
That was one experience. And I've had several experiences through my life, especially living in older houses and always not necessarily seeing the person or the outline, but you can actually see the presence, or you can actually feel the presence of a house. When we were living in Richmond, in Punt Road for instance, we were living in a house, we bought the house, there was a presence there, we could feel it. You could see it in the corner of your eye, you could sometimes smell the presence, like a cigar burning.
Okay,
so we knew it was male.
Okay, smell.
So we knew it was male, but we also felt that it wasn't a threat.
Okay.
So he wasn't a threat. We named him George. Don't ask me where the name came from because I don't know. It was just like a feeling. Let's call him George.
Okay.
And there was no threat.
All this time when he's around, is he ever disappear?
Yes, he's disappeared. For months you don't see him, but I had the feeling that it was actually that somebody had moved on and they were still stuck there.
Okay.
So it's like a family, and he's looking for, the feeling that he's looking for his family.
Okay.
So.
Oh, that is not a good feeling if when you pass away you still have to be in this space, you know.
Yes.
But something very strange, should I say strange or coincidence, happened yesterday, because I know that today I'm going to talk about this incident, and I have a story to share. And this story is come from a guy that I know for a while already, and I haven't talked to him for ages.
Yes.
And then after I already make appointment to see your guys, and then he also called me for no reason. For months I haven't talked to him, but then he gave me a call. And then he said he started to talk to me, and then I said to him, why you suddenly call me? You know, because you haven't talked to me for a while. And you know that, you know, I want to tell your story because he got quite a spooky story to tell.
Yes.
So this is my friend. His name, let's say, called George as well. Okay,
yes.
Simple. What happened to George is that, you know, he told me this around 6 months ago.
Yes.
He said that, you know, do you know I haven't seen you for a few months? I said, yeah, you know, what happened to you? He said, I actually passed away of heart attack. So he actually went into hospital.
Now I've got goosebumps.
Seriously. Oh, so he actually passed away in the hospital, and what happened is his spirit come out from his body. So he's seeing himself laying on the bed.
Yes.
Okay, this is his experience, and why his body come out, and he wants to go out and wandering as any normal human being. All right. Yes. Strangely, there is someone there holding his hand.
Yes.
Said, don't go. Whatever you do, don't get out. Okay. And then he talking to him and all of that, you know. But my friend George said, you know, he's not gonna tell me what is the conversation is, but apparently, you know, it's a really strange experience for him.
Yes.
Because basically, before he passed away, the doctor said to him, why your eyes open so big, you know? And he said, my eye opened so big because I'm so worried.
Better to see you with.
Yeah. And I'm so scared I'm gonna die if I'm close it. Strangely, the doctor said, you know, oh, relax, you know, you'll be fine. The minute he closed his eye, the minute his body come out.
Yes.
You know, straight away, you know, they went for emergency. But basically, you know, if you know anyone who tried already died, they try to keep his brain alive. They have to pump water, they have to cut the throat, all kind of things, you know, and blood coming out everywhere. So, which is a really scary picture. And then, the day, the doctor pumped him pretty much 15 times with the electricity.
Yes.
But apparently, the guys who pumped him, he's a new doctor. So he just not hard enough to wake him up from the electricity.
Yes.
He said to me, which is yesterday since I talked to him again, he said to me, the person who with him start to hold the guy, the young doctor's hand. And then for the last pump, when he pumped him, suddenly he can feel all the electricity and the spirit going into his body through his mouth. This is from his word, okay? So he's just zoom, and he can feel all the electricity. And when he feels the electricity, that's when he cannot remember anything else after that. So, so this is out of body experience, you know. It's very strange and also very different with talking about spirit and ghosts.
Yes.
So,
but without body experiences, I've actually had them as well.
Okay.
So, and it's actually because I actually have a psychic who actually told me that I'm actually more psychic than what they are.
Okay.
So
you have the gift of.
I have the gift. So, and I believe that it's actually inherited from your family, from your birthright. So that's. So if one person has it in your family, then the other person might actually have it as well. So that's what I think. But out-of-body experiences can actually be created by controlling your breathing and actually making your mind actually travel.
Okay. So do you do that yourself?
You can do it yourself, yes. So,
but do you?
I used to many years ago when I was younger.
Okay.
But
how young were you talking about younger?
In the early 20s.
Okay.
And I travelled places, I saw people, I experienced things.
Wow.
I couldn't react with those people that I saw, I was only an observer.
Okay. Yep.
So, yes.
Wow. So there is this out of body
experiences that I can say that I've actually done, so yes.
What makes you stop it?
I'm not searching for anything, so I'm happy with my life the way it is. So it's just something that I haven't pursued.
Okay.
So, yes.
Wow, this is really interesting to know. Okay, so I heard last time you went to Manila.
Yes.
Apparently there is a fire broke out.
I had no idea there was a fire. We were just in a taxi with some friends, and all of a sudden I could see dead people outside.
When you said dead people, you actually, okay, because last week
you
you
saw the actual clear images of people that were scarred and burnt and disfigurement.
Okay, so this is the most clear image you ever see?
That I've ever seen, yes.
Okay.
So, and I had no idea, and I said all of a sudden, it was a weird thing to say, but I said I can actually see dead people and they were actually knocking on the windows, like when you're driving down in a taxi or wherever in Manila, people were trying to sell you things and knocking on the window, but these were actually dead people, so, and other people couldn't see them. It's only I saw them when I spoke about it in the taxi, because I was so shocked, because there wasn't just one, there was like 40, 50 people.
Oh my God.
They were wandering the streets and the traffic had stopped and they were all around the other cars, and that's when the person said there was a fire in Manila.
Okay.
At a nightclub, and all these people were killed. So that's when we put two and two together. So these were the people that were still wandering, lost souls.
When you say they're knocking on the door, they are knocking on the door but they're not looking at you.
No.
Yeah, because they don't know you can see them yet.
Yes.
Once, because in many cases they say if they know you can see them, straight away they will come to you and try to communicate with you.
Yes.
So last time when that happened, no one tried to communicate with you?
No one tried to communicate, except you could actually hear the knocking on the, I could hear the knocking on the window.
What are they saying, or what they are trying to do?
Well, it's in Filipino, I didn't understand, and a lot of it was just like knocking, trying to get attention.
Okay.
So
they say anything?
I couldn't hear.
Okay.
Because it was in peak hour traffic, cars, all those sorts of things. So. And it was getting close to darkness.
To darkness.
So, yes.
But
I have other experiences as well.
But this is definitely not a nice picture to look at.
No, that's what shocked me, and I actually blurted it out that I can actually see dead people, and everybody was shocked because, and it wasn't, because what got me was there were so many.
Yeah.
There's just so many dead people walking around, and I can actually physically see them, and like disfigured and like burnt, and because people were asking me, well, what do they look like? What are they? And I said they look like they've been through hell, through fire, through burn, disfigurement, all these sorts of things. And that's when they said, oh yes, there was a fire. So. Okay.
Change the topic. It's definitely not appetizing. Not appetizing.
No, but as I said, it put me into such a shock that I actually blurted it out, because normally when I see these things, I keep them to myself.
Do you ever try to give them a hand, help them anyway, anytime, if they know that you can communicate with them?
I'm not sure whether I can communicate with them. But there was another situation where I actually did communicate with my father, who passed away.
Okay.
Now, my sister had actually put my father, my mother's dead as well, and in the cemetery. They were cremated, and they were in the cemetery, and we were looking for my father and my mother. And Jason was with me at the time, and all of a sudden there was a dog, and this dog was standing over a plaque, and all of a sudden the lady, it was actually a lady and a child, going, "Here Walter," referring to the dog. The dog's name was Walter, but it was also my father's name.
Oh.
And they were standing, the dog was at my father's grave, or at his remains. And he was actually there sniffing, and that's how I found my father and my mother. And my mother got her wish because my mother always wanted to be put on top of my father. So yes, so she finally got her wish that she wanted. But yeah, that was, and the dog's name, and it was black. The dog's name was Walter, and he was at my father's grave. But a year later, after he passed away, my father actually came back to visit me and actually tell me that I did the right thing.
Okay.
Because my father wanted the cheapest possible funeral, because he didn't want to be a burden onto my mother, because my mother was still alive at that stage. And my mother wanted a better funeral for him, and as the executor of the will, I said no, this is what my father wanted, this was his wishes. And a year later he came back and said, you know, you've done the right thing.
When you say he came back to talk to you,
he came back to talk to me in a
dream. Okay.
So, but it's clear as day, and it was his voice, it was his presence, and my father and I, we actually didn't get along. Because first of all, he knew I was gay, but it wasn't spoken about. So long as it wasn't spoken about, it wasn't there.
Yeah.
So
don't ask, don't tell.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but at the end of it, when he came back, he said I did the right thing. I carried out his wishes, and he was happy with that.
Yeah. So
because
communicate with you is a way of, you know.
Yes.
Making peace with you.
Making peace with me, yes. So it was a relief for me as well, because I was always doubting myself that I was actually doing the wrong thing, because I'm thinking maybe we should have gone with a bigger funeral, invited his friends and done that. But for me, the most important thing was to carry out his wishes.
For all of this experience,
yes,
you got a heartwarming one with your father, you
yes,
got the scary one with the Manila people.
Yes.
Any particular experience really make you cannot remember? Leave a lasting effect on you?
The lasting effecting with me is that I know that I dream,
okay,
but I can't remember any of my dreams.
Okay. You've been this for long time?
Long time, so like almost 30 years. So
okay, and you think that is related with your psychic power?
I think it's related to the psychic power. So because I think that seeing the faces of disfigured people has actually given me a bit of a shock as well. But I know that years and years ago that I actually did dream when I was a child.
Yeah.
And I remember those dreams, and a lot of those dreams were almost like nightmares.
Okay.
So whether it was ghosts visiting me or whatever, but basically I don't dream.
You don't enjoy the dream.
I don't enjoy the dream.
Okay.
So therefore, I think my psychic, my own personal psychic actually blocks it out.
Oh,
so I don't remember it. So
that's very good, you know, because personally I take hormone and I know how does it feel when you don't want to dream but you're constant dreaming.
Yes.
And all kind of crazy dream is happening.
Yes.
And it's such a torture.
Yes.
It's really not a fun experience, you know.
No, especially if it's a nightmare.
Yeah, totally. You know, I trust me. You know, I remember when I have my hormone dream, my mom turned into dinosaur, and I know that is my mom, and she's eating my boyfriend alive. You know, and then you don't know. Oh my God, you don't know who to help and what to stop. You know, but it's a horrible dream. You know, and
yes,
they feel so real and everything. You know, okay. So thank you for talking to us because I don't know what to say more. Anything you want to add?
As I said, the biggest thing with me is that I've gone to other psychics to try and explain this, and they said, what are you doing? You're more psychic than what I am.
Okay.
And
do you ever want to open the third eye? Because my friend do said that, you know, everyone have the psychic power. Even though myself, my Filipino friend said, you know, I have the psychic power. Maybe it's not a big one, you know. But if I'm willing to open my third eyes, I will see other stuff. But the thing is, once you open your third eyes,
you can't close it.
You can't close it.
It's a little experience as well as my grandmother. My grandmother was actually insane. That's what they classified her as.
Okay.
But my grandmother
mentally
also,
unstable?
Not mentally unstable, it's just that she could see things that other people couldn't see.
Okay.
She could see images, she could see, her biggest fear was rats.
Okay.
And rats coming out of the wall. And she could see it, but what question is if she can see it and we can't see it, but she's actually seeing it.
Okay.
And that's part of the psychic power.
Okay. Yeah,
so later on in life, people are not that inhibited, so they actually talk about things. And then all of a sudden she's classified as insane because she sees rats coming out of the walls. But what's to say that they aren't coming out of the walls just because we can't see them? There's different dimensions,
agree,
there's different light.
Agree, disagree.
Agree, disagree.
Yeah,
yes.
Agree, disagree.
Yes.
Because this is hard. Because for a normal person, you know, sometimes it's really hard for us to understand. Even you want to understand, you can't understand because you just don't have the power or the ability to see.
Yes.
This
so once you go through those experiences yourself, then it's a little bit more understanding of what actually is there, and it starts to make you question things.
Yeah.
So, and by talking about it, you're actually realising that there's other people that actually have these powers and that can see ghosts and see other images, and as I said, they're not all threatening. George, for instance, that lived in Richmond with us, wasn't a threat at all.
Yeah.
And he came, he went, you could see him, you could smell him, but there's no threat. And the other ghosts that are actually threat.
Yeah.
But Manila wasn't actually, they weren't a threat, they were just knocking at the windows.
And
like,
they are
trying
right
to get
in front
attention.
of you.
Yes.
I thank God I cannot imagine the image there, you know, because I know that is a very horrible image to see not just one person but a lot of person who actually passing but in burn, you know, is no comment.
But that's one of the reasons I don't like going to hospitals, and I actually, because I can actually sometimes see images of people as well. So, and for me, I'd rather not know, so I'd rather not go. So yeah.
If you don't see, you don't see it.
If you don't see, you don't know.
Yeah.
It's the better way of doing it. Block it out and you don't know about it.
Yeah, I think so. Well, end of the day, you know, if I think the best thing is, you know, be a good person.
Yes.
Do good things. You know, if you don't want bad things happen to you, you know, just keep doing good, you know, and if you have a good heart, you know, everyone will be just nice to you.
Yes.
Yeah, don't harm anybody.
Think of others, don't think of yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
It's important.
Just like TSChitChat. Love, peace and joy.
Joy!
That's right. Love, lots of love and lots of peace, you know. And you know,
lots of joy.
Yeah, lots of joy, you know. Don't have a heart to harm anyone else.
Yes.
Yeah, you know. World peace.
World peace.
Yeah. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Yeah, and talk, because you know, I really want to share. I'm really fascinating about this kind of topic. But you know, sometimes you can hear other people have so much hocus pocus.
Yes.
You know, but talking with you is simple and pure and like a fact.
It's personal, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about personal experiences. I'm sure that some of you viewers out there have got experiences as well. Maybe they want to share some of them. maybe they don't. It's personal.
Yeah.
And it's personal belief, what you believe in, what you don't believe in. But I always believe that there's people that come into your life, they're there to help you, and in return you actually help other people. It's important. And you only get what you give.
Okay.
So if you give to other people, then you get back to yourself. And if you have good vibes, you get good vibes.
Yes.
If you do good things will come back to you. Not once, but twofold. It's important.
Yeah, totally, you know.
Yes.
That's why doing good, you know, sometimes, you know, not only just have to say, you actually do it. And when you do it, you know, it's just so much bigger and better.
Yes.
Okay.
And always think about the other person. Because sometimes we become so selfish we only think about ourselves.
Okay, yes, so hard.
Very hard. But think about, put yourself in the other person's shoe and think of how they would feel, and think about if you saw a ghost, or would you be frightened, would you be scared, all those sorts of things. So yes.
Well, I'd be so scared, you know. My biggest fear is darkness and ghosts. So, you know, I don't scare of anything, but, you know, darkness and ghosts, you know, scare hell of me.
It's not the dead you've got to be worried about, it's actually the living.
True! True, that's so true. So, love, peace,
joy,
express yourself.
Express yourself.
Thank you, Norbert.
Thank you. Love, peace, and express yourself.